First to interpolate is Deputy Speaker Rodante Marcoleta. DS Marcoleta, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon to everyone. It appears, Mr. Chair, that the real bone of contention is whether or not there is an existing body of evidence that will support the efficacy of ivermectin to be prescribed and be used eventually by our people, particularly those who have been infected by the COVID-19. I'd like to take advantage of the presence of the Secretary. Maybe I should ask him first whether or not he supports the stand of the FDA. As you will remember, the last time, Mr. Chair, I asked very simple questions to the representative of the FDA, but he was unable to sensibly answer most of them. I regret the fact that the Director General was not present because he is attending to, I think, to his sick father. But let me put on record, Mr. Chair, that our country as well as our people are also in grave medical condition, which is something not to be ignored. Mr. Chair, by asking the Secretary, I'd like to know whether or not the stand of FDA that ivermectin has a low evidentiary efficacy based on our own experts as articulated by Director Domingo during the questioning of the President when there is an iota of success for ivermectin. Mr. Secretary, please.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I share and support the position of the FDA with regard to the quality of evidence presented as to the efficacy or effectiveness of ivermectin, both for treatment and prophylaxis. In fact, we have with us today the FDA, who can reiterate its official position on the matter. And this has been supported also by our expert panel of experts. No? But the living CPG is a testament to its being open to additional pieces of evidence. If this additional evidence warrant a reconsideration of that position, that as of the last report to me, there's still no strong evidence to support the use of ivermectin, either as treatment and or prophylaxis.
Chair, with that statement of the Secretary, is it correct to assume that the Secretary is assailing the evidence as presented by the international experts around the world, notably those coming from America, Belgium, Australia, UK, and even Israel? I can enumerate a list of several doctors who already proclaimed the efficacy of ivermectin, Mr. Chair, but I will only ask him if, despite the fact that admittedly the technology in those countries is far better and probably more advanced than ours, can we safely say that our experts are more in a position to judge and oppose the total body of evidence that already proclaimed by these international experts, Mr. Secretary?
It's a very difficult question to answer, Your Honor, but I am not an expert in this field. I defer the matter to our own body of panel of experts who rely in turn on the available body or bodies of evidence. I am not assailing what the clinical trial results have been done in other countries, but perhaps it will be prudent that with the directive of the President for the DOST to conduct our own clinical trial on ivermectin, it would be prudent to give that clinical trial in the Philippines a chance to work, and let's look at what the results will be. And if it is in support or in alignment to the findings as declared by clinical trials elsewhere outside of the country, then we should welcome that result, even when it gets concluded at the soonest possible time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Secretary, when you refer to our own experts, you are probably referring to the medical doctors and practitioners comprising the PISMID or even the Philippine Society of Physicians and the other medical societies affiliated with the DOH. Am I correct in that assumption?
You're exactly right, Your Honor. Tama po kayo.
FDA, Mr. Secretary, is a regulatory agency under the DOH. Am I correct?
You are right, Your Honor. Tama
And
po
in the
kayo.
matter of issuing certificates of compliance and in conducting appropriate tests on all applicable health products under Section 4, paragraphs E and H of Republic Act 9711, this is the law on FDA, which office or agency is advising the FDA on matters of policy, Mr. Secretary?
Well, on matters of policy, it is generally the executive committee of the Department of Health, where I serve as the chair with all the USECs and assistant secretaries constituting the EXICOM at the policy level. But any policy formulation is more often than not grounded on technical inputs from the experts, from people who have had sufficient training and background to feed into the EXICOM the technical aspects of any policy under consideration by the EXICOM.
You're saying, Mr. Secretary, that the EXICOM is advised by technical experts, not necessarily with your department, or they are still with your department?
Oh, they're still with the department. The EXICOM is composed of the USECs, ASECs, and some offices of the DOH, depending on what the policy is being deliberated. Each policy is underpinned by a specific technical input from group of experts who is working with the department, either as an advisory board or an advisory body.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, but I made a little research, but it seems that what is happening on the ground is different from what you have been articulating. For example, FDA Circular Number 2020-012, dated April 20, 2020, relied on the management algorithm issued by the PISMID for the clinical management of adult patients with suspected or confirmed COVID-19 infections. And this was adopted by the DOH through Department Memorandum Number 2020-0138, dated March 31, 2020. Sa circular na ito, Mr. Secretary, 4 na drug products lamang ang binigyan ng FDA ng DEU. Ito yung tocilizumab, lopinavir, ritonavir, chloroquine phosphate, and hydroxychloroquine. Sa isa na kayo, hindi ko masyadong hydrochloroquine sulfate. Ito, Mr. Secretary. Pagkatapos po ay naglabas ulit ng FDA Circular Number 2020-0112-A dated July 27, 2020, batay na naman po sa PISMID, Clinical Practice Guidelines on the Interim Management Guidelines for COVID-19, dated July 20, 2020. Dito po ay nanatili yung DEU para sa tocilizumab, pero tinanggal po yung DEU para sa 3 gamot na nabanggit kanina. Circular Number 2020-012B, dated August 26, 2020, ay inilabas ng FDA pero para palawigin ang effectivity ng 2 circulars. Mr. Secretary, these are the pieces of evidence na DOH and FDA ay parang sumusunod lamang sa medical advice at opinion ng PISMID. Mali po ba ako doon, Mr. Secretary?
Andito po yung atin Disease Prevention and Control Bureau. Sila po ang mas may malawak na karanasan at kaalaman patungkol sa proseso kapag ini-engage po natin ang mga experts natin for policy adoption. As a good example that you have raised yung sa mga PISMID recommendation. Dahil sila naman po talaga yung mga experts based on our evaluation of their background, their expertise, their training. So we did due diligence on their areas of expertise or specialization. So maybe the DPCD will...
Kaya I'm trying to highlight this particular situation because they play a very significant role in the policies being implemented by the FDA. Yung PISMID po is a private organization, non-profit, non-stock organization. Ngunit napakalaki ng kanyang role kung pag-uusapan ay yung pagpuporma ng mga polisiya o patakaran na yan po ang pinatutupad ng FDA. Halimbawa po, meron na namang FDA Circular number 2020-028A dated December 18, 2020 na kung saan in-extend ang DEU for tocilizumab until September 12, 2021. Mr. Chair, ang lahat ng mga FDA circulars na binasa ko ay ibinatay sa mga clinical management algorithm ng PISMID at wala nang iba. Ang tanong ko po rito, bakit sa 5 circular na binanggat ko kanina, Mr. Chair, tanging tocilizumab lamang ang binigyan ng DEU ng FDA mula April 20, 2020 hanggang September 12, 2021? What is so spectacular, Mr. Secretary, about tocilizumab that ivermectin was not even considered during this period despite the massive, overwhelming, and unassailable body of evidence on its efficacy against COVID-19. So babalik po tayo ulit doon, Mr. Secretary. If the DOH cannot assail the overwhelming and massive evidence presented by the international experts on the matter, bakit hindi naman po binigyan man lamang ng pansin? Maski na po doon sa tinatawag ninyong living recommendations ngayon, which was updated as of May 28, 2020. Kapag ka po pinindot ninyo yung sa treatment, and there is a question there on interventions, whether ivermectin can be used as prophylactic agent o kahit ano pa, nakalagay doon palagi, ang default is there is a low evidence. Palaging sinasabi, we do not recommend the use of ivermectin. Kapag tiningnan mo naman po yung evidence summary, makikita po ninyo, Mr. Secretary, na talagang ang ginagamit lamang nila, kung minsan 2, kung minsan 3, na studies on ivermectin, pero pinili nila yung mga studies with questionable methodology. I will go back to the 54 trials worldwide na ginamit po ng eksperto sa ibang bansa. They involve about 442 scientists, Mr. Secretary, and involve about 17,000 more patients. 27 of them are randomized clinical trials. Nung tanungin po yung FDA director one time, last March 5, 2021 ng President Duterte asked directly, Director General Domingo, sabi niya, Director Domingo, I hope you were there. You also heard that, Mr. Secretary. Director Domingo, sabi niya, maraming doktor ang bumilib sa ivermectin. At pinupusta nila yung kanilang may integrity. They are even prepared to put their neck on the chopping board. I think there's something in it, sabi ng Presidente. Ang sagot po ni Director Domingo, Mr. President, mangangailangan pa po kasi tayo ng 1 o 2 buwan, sabi niya. That was May 5, 2021, Mr. Chair. Mangangailangan pa po tayo ng 1 o 2 buwan para matesting pa po natin yung mga international studies. Ang tanong lamang po ni Mr. President, Secretary, is there an iota of success? Pag sinabi po nating iota of success, the President is only soliciting, katiting man na success sa ivermectin. Mahirap ba na sabihin halimbawa ng FDA, Mr. President, ang totoo po niyan, napakarami po talaga ang nagpo-proclaim niyan. Kaya gusto ko na rin po sana i-suggest na sa DOH na baka sakaling pwede na rin natin gamitin. Total naman po, sila na rin ang nagpasimula. Mas mataas naman po ang technology nila. I was expecting that, Mr. Secretary, that should have been the proper answer to the President because the question was very simple. Why do you think he was still asking for 1 or 2 months? And that was May. Ibig po ba nating sabihin na kung hindi naman natin na-assail, kagaya ng tanong ko sa inyo kanina, if we are not in a position to assail, even our experts, I asked during the last hearing, sino bang mga experts natin po ang nakagawa ng meta-analysis kahit isa lang? Kahit isang clinical trial? No one. I think the DOST, I think the Secretary is present today. The DOST is about to conduct a clinical trial on ivermectin, but sabi po ni Director General, he will need 6 to 8 months. Sir Secretary, sana masabi natin sa ating mga kababayan, huwag muna silang bawian ng buhay, hintayin po yung 6 to 8 months from now para matiyak natin na ang ivermectin ay mabisa. This is the predicament today, Mr. Secretary. You heard the Deputy Speaker Herrera, nandun yung pagtatalo. Sasabi po nila there was an equipoise. There was no equipoise here. In law, ang equipoise, ang ibig lang sabihin po, pwede ito, pwede yung isa. Ibig sabihin, balance. If the evidence, Mr. Secretary, is pointing to the fact that ivermectin has no adverse effect whatsoever, considering that the testimony given by these doctors around the world, sabi nila 3.7 billion people were administered. Although nung panahon na yon, ginamit po sa mga sabihin na nating mga animals. But this is a repurposed medicine. This is a repurposed drug. Why on earth the FDA is not even doing anything? Palagi na lang ang pinag-uusapan natin ay tocilizumab in 5 directives or circulars na kanilang binanggit. Ngayon, babalik po ako sa unang tanong, Mr. Secretary. Medyo mahirap po sigurong sagutin ninyo ngayon ito. Iibahin ko na lamang. What is the legal basis for DOH and FDA to rely on PSMID in protecting and promoting the right to health of our people, which is supposed to be the state's responsibility through the DOH? Bakit sila po yung palagi nating pinakikinggan? Maski na po doon sa clinical practice guidelines, maski na sa living recommendations. Puro PSMID po, but this is a private, non-stock, non-profit organization. What is the legal basis, sir?
Well, it has been the, yes, Mr. Chairman, it has been the policy and the practice of the DOH and the FDA in particular to defer to the identified panel of experts, which panel goes through a process of selection, I believe. So there is a basis. I am not just familiar what the criteria are, but in general, it is really because these people have had the track record in this particular field, no? In Philippine Society of Infectious Diseases and Microbiology and Infectious Disease. And so, hindi lang naman po sila ang pinakikinggan ng FDA. Marami pa po mga specialty societies. In fact, in the response to COVID, we have about 55 experts guiding the DOH and the Interagency Task Force. At mabalik ko lang po, tama po kayo na yung ginawa naman po o aksyon ng FDA ay sumusuporta naman doon sa sinabi ninyo na meron naman sigurong, although weak evidence, baka naman na meron kabutihan na maidudulot ito. Kanya nga naman yung binigay na compassionate special permit ng FDA sa mga ospital na nag-apply for that permit, and with this authorization, they're able to prescribe ivermectin if they see appropriate to their COVID patients, no? So binigyan din po ang authorization for compoundment of ivermectin by a licensed pharmacy as well as a practicing pharmacist, ano po. So lahat ng aksyon na ito ay tugma naman doon, akma naman po doon sa sinabi ninyo na ito ay nakalinya din doon sa posibleng magandang epekto ng ivermectin. Ibalik ko lang po, sandali lang po, sir, Mr. Chairman, yung living clinical practice guidelines po natin. Ito po yung atin pinaka-reference for the best possible clinical outcomes, no? Hindi lang po pismi dito, kung hindi ang bumubuo nito 15 mahigit na mga medical societies, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor. So hindi lang po pismi dito, sir. Marami po tayong mga specialty societies na tumutulong po sa paghubog ng ating pong mga policies, them being the source of the technical expertise. Salamat po.
Secretary, maaaring sabihin po nyo hindi pismid lang, pero sa mga dokumentong nakalap ko, talagang ang pismid po ang parang lantarang dumidikta na lamang sa mga circulars po ng FDA. Dahil sila po yung binabanggit, maski na po yung leading CPG at saka yung leading recommendations, talagang maliwanag, pismid po talaga ang merong significant role sa paggawa nito. Samantalang nawawala po yung batas na kung i-recall po natin, meron tayong RA 8503 dated February 13, 1998. Ito po yung batas na ginawa ng Kongreso. Ito yung National Institutes of Health. Kumbaga sa Amerika po, yung FDA nila, ang regulatory, ang policy issuer ay yung NIH. Yun po sana yung maging role natin, hindi yung parang nakadepende palagi tayo sa PISMID. Ang main function po ng NIH, National Institutes of Health, sa Secretary, alam ko po ay alam din ninyo ito, is to establish research programs on health promotion, disease prevention and control, to serve as a coordinating and integrating body of the existing research institutes in UP Manila, namely socio-biomedical research and so on and so forth. Sa pangyayaring ito, pagka binibigyan natin ng mas malaking role ang PISMID, mamaya po kasi meron po akong ilang mga tanong tungkol sa PISMID. Lumilitaw po kasi na meron din silang mga vested interest kung pag-uusapan po ay yung kanilang relationship and interaction with pharmaceuticals. I will be able to show that, Mr. Secretary, nag-aalala lamang kami because of their massive relationship with Big Pharma. Lilitaw na hindi natin pwedeng ipagkamali o maring magduda ang mga kababayan natin, pati sa pagbibigay ng policy, magkaroon po ng imbalance. Kasi po kanina, habang kayo'y nagsasalita sa inyong pangunang pangungusap, ay binanggit ninyo na the DOH or the government is not setting any boundaries or barriers, but more on protecting the health of our people. I think the balancing here is the role of the DOH. Kailangan mabalancing kasi lumilitaw po parang na-hijack na ng PISMID ang trabaho ng NIH. Mawawala naman pong visa yung ginawa ng Kongreso na RA 8507. 8503. Mr. Secretary, aside from being the lead agency in promoting and protecting the health of the people under Section 15, Article 2 of the Constitution, Executive Order 102 designated the DOH as the lead agency in articulating national objectives for health, lead agency in health emergency, response services, technical authority in disease control and prevention, lead agency in health, medical research, innovation, of new technologies, etc., etc. Sa napakaklaro pong pananagutan at directive sa DOH bilang the lead agency directed by the government to protect and promote the health of our people, parang nagtataka po kami, Mr. Secretary, para yatang nabigyan nyo ng napakagandang role naman ng PISMID. At parang, ito, with all due respect naman po sa inyo, parang nakalimutan naman ng FDA na sila na lamang ang sinusunod. At sana makita namin, sana this committee will be able to get back to the fact that DOH is still the mother agency that should guide the directions of the FDA, not PISMID. Kasi po, nung Mr. Secretary, ito yung pinaka medyo malubha na nakita ko. Now, in my own analysis, when DOH issued Department Memorandum Order 2020-0138, adopting PISMID clinical practice guidelines on COVID-19, I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Secretary, I think this action is a clear abdication of your responsibility to lead the health agency of this government. Can you share your view on that particular issue, Secretary?
Yes, sir. If I may be allowed, yung pong usapin patungkol sa mandato ng National Institutes of Health. Tama naman po kayo doon na sila din ang pinanggagalingan ng dunong at mga eksperto sa mga partikular na programa ng pampublikong kalusugan at ang mga miyembro ng PISMID, halimbawa si Dr. Isa Alejandria, ay kasama din po yan sa National Institute of Health. So sila din po ang mga magkakasama at magkakakilala. So kung patungkol po sa kanilang expertise, palagay ko po naman ay mahirap naman na i-assail ko yon. O yung kanila pong grupo na matagal na din po talagang tumutulong. Kadalasan pro bono pa ho ito sa FDA and sa Department of Health, pati na rin sa Interagency Task Force. No? At ibig ko rin pong bigyan din na ang ating pong COVID-19, ito pong living recommendations, mga documents, ay galing din po ito sa Institute of Clinical Epidemiology ng NIH UP Manila in cooperation, tama po kayo, with PISMID. So hindi lang po ito nakalimita sa PISMID lamang, kung hindi, network po ito ng mga expert panels or groups at nagkakaroon po sila ng tinatawag na consensus at ang pagbubuo ng clinical practice guidelines, ang akin pong uulitin lamang, and let me emphasize, is a product of inputs and consensus by more than 15 specialty societies, medical societies. Among them is PISMID. So hindi naman po tama na sasabihin po natin na parang PISMID lamang ang amin pong pinakikinggan. Isa lang po sila sa marami natin pong pinakikinggan at malaki po ang kanilang naitulong na sa mga policies na hinuhubog ng ating pong Department of Health. Ulit ko lang po na ito pong pagdami kung magkaroon ng mga ebidensya na susuporta doon po sa teorya, doon sa paniwala ninyo na ito'y makakatulong sa treatment and prophylaxis against COVID-19, eh talagang susuportahan din po natin yan. Katulad na lang din po ng aksyon ng FDA, nagbigay di umano kaagad ng Compassionate Special Permit at compounding authorization for ivermectin. Kaya ito po ay nagpapakita isang testament na meron naman pong paniwala kahit na paano ang FDA na kung tingin ng doktor at pananagutan ng doktor ang kanyang pag-prescribe ng ivermectin, eh wala namang problema yun. yun ay rirespetuhin naman ng FDA basta't lang sumunod doon sa protocol na isang
Secretary,
kondisyon.
Yung
Yun lang po, sir.
pagbibigay ng let's say EUA or DEU sa mga ibang mga compounding laboratory.
Marcoleta, I've given you more than enough time. It's 30 minutes. Can I gave you 30 minutes already, more than what is allotted, 20 minutes. Can you wrap up in 3 minutes because there are 5 people in the line, then I'll give you the second round.
Meron pa tayong second round, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Kasi binabanggit ni Secretary. Okay, I will wind up in 5 minutes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Secretary, tama po kayo na may ginawa naman ng FDA. Meron siyang inisyong EUA sa mga ilang compounding laboratories. Pero yung testamento pong sinasabi ninyo, masyado pong napakanipis na testamento yon. Sapagkat kung hindi naman i-assail ng PISMID pala, at kung sino mang eksperto natin na mali yung ebidensyang ipinakikita ng napakaraming eksperto sa ibang bansa, wala po sigurong dahilan kung bakit pautay-utay o paunti-unti ang pagbibigay. Parang candy po na ibinibigay lang sa bata. Ganun po yung pagtrato sa paggamit ng ivermectin, Secretary. Kami naman po ay nagkaroon din ng pagdinig dito at napansin namin na wala naman pong isamang eksperto natin na nagawa ng isang meta-analysis o clinical trial. Maski po yung mga sinasabi nating eksperto sa PISMID, wala rin po silang sinabi na objection tungkol sa mga doktor na nagsabi nung bisa at beneficial effects ng ivermectin. Ang hindi po namin maintindihan, bakit hindi man lang bigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga tao na gustong gamitin ito. Totoo po ba na ang Philippine Society of Physicians ay talagang inaasunto pa yung mga 4 na doktor na tumulong sa amin nung kami ay nagpusang magbigay ng ivermectin sa aming paniwala sa mga taong nagsasabi na ito'y mabisa. Ito po ba ay pinagpapatuloy pa po ng Philippine Society of Physicians Secretary na mukhang inaasunto sila sa Professional Regulation Commission? Totoo po ba ito?
Wala po akong kaalaman patungkol dyan. Ngayon ko lang po narinig yan. So I will have to look into this, Mr. Chairman, as to the veracity of this report. Then I'll get back to you, Mr. Chairman, and Your Honor, Representative Marcoleta.
Salamat po, Mr. Secretary. Importante po sa amin ito sapagkat yung mga doktor na tumulong lamang sa amin. Wala po silang kasalanan. Kung talagang ang usapin ngayon ay equipoise pa lang, wala pong magsasabing mali yung sa amin, wala magsasabing tama yung sa kanila. Sa makatwid, ako'y makikiusap sa inyo na tingnan yung mabuti ito, walang kasalanan yung mga doktor namin. Sana itong mga kasamang mga doktor sa Philippine Society of Physicians, kung talagang wala pa namang malinaw na ebidensya, kagaya nga ni sinabi ni D.S. Herrera, value judgment o subjective analysis sapagkat literature review lamang ang pinagbabasihan, hindi naman meta-analysis. And until and unless DOH and PISMID are able to assail with confidence the body of evidence na talagang ipinakita ng mga doktor sa ibang bansa, sana manatili po yung status quo. Huwag niyong usigin yung mga doktor, kahit na off-label lamang, payagan po ninyo sila. Kung yan naman po ay gusto rin naman ng mga pasyente, palagay ko ay ito'y nakasalalay din sa unang pangungusap ninyo kanina. Salamat po, Secretary, at I will avail of my second round. Thank you, Mr. Chair.